Okay, so we've said that life is organized, and it is going to be composed of atoms such as oxygen, carbon, and hydrogen. Then those atoms are going to go together to make molecules such as carbon dioxide and water. And then life has the capability of taking these kinds of inorganic molecules and turning them into organic molecules. And there are going to be 5 kinds of organic molecules that we're going to look at. So you're going to have carbohydrates, which are sugars. Then you're going to have lipids, which are fats. Then you have proteins. Then you have nucleic acids. And then you have ATP. So let's look at each of these in a little bit more detail. So carbohydrates, another name for those are going to be sugars. And it turns out that there are 8 different types of sugars found in nature. And they're used for energy storage. So you're probably all familiar with that when you eat food, sugars, it contains carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are an excellent source of immediate energy. They can also be used to make structure. So for example, if you look down at the bottom there, you have cellulose, which is strings of sugars put together, and then cellulose makes up wood, for example. It makes up the tissues of plants. In terms of humans, sugars can be strung together to make glycogen, and then that's the way that it's stored inside of your muscles for later use. Also, another thing that carbohydrates are used for is cell-to-cell recognition. So the cells of your body can have carbohydrate antennas on the outside of them, and then other molecules, when they come along, they can recognize those antennas and know that they're supposed to do something to that cell. Okay, the second kind of organic molecule is a lipid or a fat. And so these are used for energy storage the same way that carbohydrates are, but these are going to be more long-term energy storage. So your body has fats which can be broken down to get energy out of them. Another thing that lipids are used for is they make up the outer boundary of your cells. So the cell membrane of each of your cells is going to be composed of these lipids. And then another thing is they make up hormones. And a hormone is a chemical messenger that can be transported around through the blood of your body to transmit chemical signals. So the third kind is going to be proteins. And proteins are going to be made of amino acids that are going to be strung together like little beads. And then when you get a string of them, what happens to them is that they tend to fold up into complex structures. And these proteins are going to be like miniature machines that are going to be able to do other kinds of things inside of your body. They also are used for catalysts, so that they can start and keep chemical reactions going. They make up the structures in your body, such as your muscles. They're used in antibodies for your immune system. And again, they're also used as hormones. Okay, then you also have nucleic acids. So there are 2 kinds of nucleic acids, DNA and then RNA. And these DNA is going to be the thing that contains the chemical instructions for your body. And then RNA will attach itself to DNA and make a copy of it. And then it will leave the nucleus of your cell, and then the RNA will go through a thing called a ribosome, which is going to be actually a protein, and then when the RNA goes through it, it is going to manufacture other proteins. And then we've got ATP. So ATP has, if you look at the formula for it, its chemical structure, you see it's got those green little balls on it, and those things are phosphorus, phosphates. And so whenever a ATP is fully powered up, you'll notice that it's got 3 of those phosphate balls attached to it. Then when you want to get energy out of ATP, chemically you pull off one of those phosphates, and then it's going to release energy that then can be used to power other chemical reactions in your cells. Well, once the ATP loses that phosphate, it's like a dead battery, and it has to be recharged. So the way it's recharged is when you eat food, then as your body breaks down that food, the energy is used to reattach phosphates to the ATP, and then that powers up the battery again. And then the battery can be used over and over and over again. So ATP is going to be this battery that goes around inside of your body, and it powers all of the different chemical reactions in the cell. Okay, let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about organelles.